to the road to Damascus, where it's not about the road, it's about the journey. I'm your host, Brock Hendricks, and this is a special introduction. Just wanted to come on here real quick and hop on and just let you guys know the episode that you're about to watch. About the first 5 minutes got messed up, so we weren't able to record. So there's no formal introduction that you guys are used to, that me and the rabbi do. And there's no God is Guidance segment, unfortunately. But the rest of the podcast is in there, as well as the unpopular opinion / block is hot. So stick around, listen to the show. Remember, Road to Damascus podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. Also, Road to Damascus anywhere where you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify. Come on, join this growing community. Road to Damascus, that's road the number 2 Damascus at iCloud.com. That is our email. Shoot us an email. We're trying to do a mailbag show. Topics, ideas, critiques, any of those things. We'd love to hear from you guys. So enjoy this episode of Road to Damascus, where we have great conversations like we do every day. Until next time, thank you all for listening. God bless, and we'll be back.
With allowing people to deal with their consequences, that doesn't exclude our children.
Absolutely.
I had to give my son a no this morning and be okay with knowing that it was going to hurt his feelings. Like, no, there's no explanation. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
and you just have to let him.
No, because you got 2 C's and we don't do nothing with C's. Now, if it was 2 B's, then we can have a conversation. But giving no's for that, this room, I told you.
Yeah.
Because I told her I'm not taking her phone no more. Because taking the phone, no, I'm just going to cut your phone off.
We went through that saying. You going to cut it off?
I'm just going to cut it off. Call the phone company, cut it off, put a password on the internet. So when I'm not there, you can't get on the internet. Because you can still use your internet stuff on your phone. So she got the message. So room been good this week. But just some things where it's like, maybe I was letting her slide a little too much. Mm-hmm. But my son, you know how kids can be. Yeah. I never got to get away with this. I mean,
oh yeah.
I was 18 when I had you. I was young and immature and still in a certain mindset. So on to the show, Rabbi. Me and you've had this conversation before, and I think I've said it on the podcast numerous times that when we as humans try to overcorrect, or when we try to correct things that God is doing, we overcorrect. We do not know how to make the proper corrections. Right. We either overcorrect or undercorrect. Mm-hmm. God is the only one who can properly make a course correction. So we know what's going on in the Middle East right now. The war started. And something disturbing I heard this week. And Katie Couric reported that a lot of soldiers were making complaints that their admirals were coming to them and saying that this was a holy war, that Trump was lighting the fire that was going to bring up upon the light that was going to call upon the Jesus to return, and that's why we were fighting this war. And it just got me to thinking, and I always think this, but why do we feel like we got to do God's job for him? Why is it that we as people, and I think about Adam and Eve, and when they ate from the fruit, and the serpent said, the minute you eat, that your eyes will be open and you'll be gods like him. Did it start there? But then you fast forward to Abram and Sarah. And they knew the child was promised, and she was like, well, I'm getting too old, so just go ahead and have sex with my slave girl. And then we had the situation from that. I think about Saul when they were going to war and he was waiting on Samuel, and Samuel was taking too long. And he did what? He went on and did the sacrifice himself. And that's where the scripture, obedience is better than sacrifice, comes from. Not the way we use it, but again, that's a different show for a different time. But there's always calamity when we try to do God's job.
Yes.
We call things self-fulfilling prophecies, but the things that God has laid out, they still happen. When he told Saul to kill all the people all destroy the cattle, kill the kids, the families, and he let the kids and the cattle live. That later came to be the man who tried to kill them when they were in bondage,
right,
when Ruth had to be used by Malachi. Is it Malachi? Is that her?
Mordecai.
Mordecai, excuse me, Mordecai. So we see these instances where we think we're doing God's job for him, being merciful like him, or doing the things that he told us were going to come to pass because his time schedule is different than ours. But there's always calamity. There was calamity between his Abraham's descendants. We see what happened with Saul and the things he did. We see what happened with the fall of man. But when we try to do God's job, there is always calamity attached with that.
I don't know what you want me to say. You can give the closing right there. You said everything. You explained everything. I don't know what you want me to do.
How did we get here? How did we get here? How do we get to the point that we are arrogant enough to think that we can do God's job?
Well, one, you mentioned how when Eve was having the dialogue with the serpent. See, that's the first thing. You never, ever engage in dialogue with the serpent because you'll never be smart as him. He'll always be more conniving and more deceptive than you. You've never been where he's been. He's been everywhere you've been. He's been with you from the beginning. You haven't been with him. He knows things that you don't know. So he knows how to lead you into a conversation that's so beguiling that will make you speak death over your own self. But instead of, when he said that he know that when you eat, you'll be God's as him. They heard, I'll be God instead of him. That is where people mess up. You feel like you can do it instead of God or in place of God. And most of the time, our mercy is unsanctified. You know, it's unsanctified mercy. When you should be judging a situation, you want to be merciful. And when you should be merciful, you want to pass out judgment. It's because you were never designed to be God. You should just walk in the image of God. And people don't know what that is. You know, they think in order for me to be in his image, then I got to be like him. I got to be him. You will never, ever be him. So how did we get here? Ignorance.
Ignorance.
And then we are prideful about being ignorant.
that part right there.
We're prideful about being ignorant. Ignorance really is bliss. There are people who leave me ignorant.
Yeah,
you know, they don't want to. Yeah,
I'd rather not know. I'd rather not know. But to think that we're arrogant enough to know that we're going to be willing to kill people, to sacrifice lives, because we want to start this Armageddon holy war, where some of y'all, I mean, I've never met 2 or 3 people who truly understand how to understand Revelation anyway. Man, I got these folks who aren't hermeneutically, exegetically sound, trying to tell me, well, we know that they got to be here and this need to happen. And what it sounds like is folks is just taking advantage of y'all and y'all understanding where it's like, hey, they gonna do it for us anyway, so let's go on and milk them for what we can get.
Yeah, I mean, somebody has to do it. You know, there has to be somebody who sets the stage for the introduction of the Antichrist.
Oh,
Somebody's got to
sure.
do it. But the plan was written before you got here. So God doesn't need your help to do it. He doesn't need you to intentionally start a war to bring to pass what he said would happen. You know, and, you know, for the people, listen, it is the fulfillment of Scripture. It was said it's going to happen. It is going to happen no matter what. In the face of that, it's not my job to be excited about it, to be excited about the death of innocent children, to be excited about the innocent casualties of one man's bravado where he doesn't even follow the Constitution with how wars are supposed to be fought. So you, sir, aren't obeying the laws of the land as you should, being the number one person who sits at the top of the executive branch.
Absolutely. Remember on Matrix when Neo before he knocked over the plant, and she said, "Don't worry about the plant." He was like, "Huh, what?" And then he knocks it over, right. And she was like, "What's really gonna bake your noodle is would you had knocked it over if I didn't say anything." So sometimes people be like, "Well, would this thing has still started if we didn't get the thing in motion?" It's like, yeah, no, God said what was gonna happen,
right?
But what it is we feel like we need to accelerate His timing. Because Sarah, sure enough, was like, if God told y'all was gonna have a child, y'all were gonna have a child. But God needs to make sure that He does it in a way that you'll only know that it was God who did it. Just like with the soldiers when He said, "No, you got too many. We need to cut that number down."
Right.
So what you gonna do is you first find out who don't even want to fight.
Yeah. Who's
Send
scared?
them home. Like, who's scared?
Y'all go first.
right here, sir. And he dwindled down to where it was only 300 left. He said, "Now you go win. Now go fight."
Right.
Where if I'm 300 and we beat 10,000, you gonna know that God was with me.
You gonna have to say that God did it.
If I'm 90 something years old and I have a child,
God did it.
God did it. That wasn't of your own accord. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what frustrates me is that we try to get into a mindset of, well, let me just do, like, even you said it at the beginning of the podcast, and your God is God in it. Like us helping people and I said it even with my daughter about consequences, where it's like, you said we try to make things cushy for them, put a soft mattress for them to land on. Sometimes God want people to hit that ground and feel the impact of that ground. You know, when you fail and the breath come out of you, like,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Like, you needed to feel that impact to know, I don't want to do that again.
Exactly. And then, God's waiting down there for you. Like, He knows that you're going to hit, but what you're going to hit is me. But we don't allow that to happen, because in our minds, when they hit the ground, that's the end of them. Like, how arrogant of you to think that God can't catch them.
Absolutely.
How arrogant of you to think that the only way they're going to be saved is through you. You are the reason why they're not saved as of yet. It's your fault that they're not saved already, because you keep interfering with what God's trying to do. Since we always want to talk about Corinthians, let's go to Corinthians and look at the man who got put out. There are times when you need to be put out into the hands of the enemy so he can go and spank you up real good for a minute so that you can see the result of your decisions. But we won't allow people to do that. We won't allow it to happen. Well, I'm going to help them get saved. You can't. What you are is in the way. And if you, as a saved person, consider yoking yourself with someone that you know is not saved in the guise of getting them saved, you, ma'am, sir, are already compromised. And the result of that will be you all both walking unsaved together. You ain't got to believe me. But what you can't do is outsmart the Bible when it says, don't be deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners. And if you're the one with good manners and you're hanging with someone that's corrupt, now which way we going? Because you can't outsmart the word. Can't outsmart it. Stop trying to do God's job and just do your own job, and then watch how things work out. Get yourself saved. How about
that? But the thing that also is a consequence of this is gives people the ability to talk about Christians, to talk about what we don't know, to be able to say, see, ain't no love like Christian hate. Y'all warmongers, y'all want to kill innocent children. Y'all talk about y'all pro-life, but y'all not worried about these. The first place they hit was a school that had 160 something kids in there that died. Like, but y'all doing God's work, and it looks like we're now, because at the end of the day, the two groups that get lumped together no matter what is black folks and Christians. If one black person do something, all black people do it. If one Christian do it, all Christians do it. Like, we get lumped in with white evangelical Christians.
Just because they put Christian
because
on it.
they put Christian on it. So when you have these white evangelicals that are radical, that are, I guess the term they use is dispensationalists, and believe in this doctrine that they believe in, and it's like we all get lumped together when it's like, no, I read the Bible. And what they're saying, it says, it doesn't say that. But what happens is it now makes it harder for us to be able to go out and to bring people in the fold, because y'all are hypocrites. Y'all start wars. Y'all don't care about innocent people getting killed and things like that.
I agree. And that, we're talking about the arrogance of people, doing God's job and being quite overwhelmed, if we're really honest. But people do it on a smaller scale in their own lives. And I think that's how we get to such a large scale of it, because we do it individually in our own lives. We become the God of our own life. And we take on God's responsibility in our lives. Like, I was built for my life. You know what I mean? My life was mapped out before he gave me to it. You know what I mean? Your life was mapped out and done before he gave you to it. It was made for you. You were made for it. Your life that God made for you is not overwhelming. It should not be overwhelming. Not that it won't be without some obstacles, but you need some obstacles. You need a little, I don't want my rib to fall all the way off the bone. I need a little bit of bite and pull. You know what I mean? A little bit. Your life has a little bit of bite and pull to help strengthen your teeth. But it's not for you. He said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. He said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I'm not going to put more on you than that which you are able to bear. Ever be how you are well able to take on as much as you want to. The issue with that is you now become responsible to bear all that you have taken on that wasn't yours. You are responsible for that. And we get overwhelmed and overworked and agitated and upset because God won't fix what he never called for you to carry. That's why we can do it on such a grand scale and be okay with it, because that's been your practice in your everyday life. In my humble opinion.
Didn't sound quite humble when you was dishing that out. But yeah, I agree. I know that a lot of times we try to map out our own, and we know that we have free will, but we still like, well, if I do this way and I do that way, and it's like, what you always say, you meet your destiny on the road you take to avoid it.
Yes.
And a lot of the times we sitting here and we be like, let me tell you something. I am not going to Montana, and I'm going to go as far away as I can to get away from Montana. Somewhere along the way, a detour happened, and you drive, you're like, how did I get back in Montana? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The children of Israel was walking in a big circle. Didn't we talk about that last week? You tie a string around the tree, and you look, and you be like, I swear if we stepped that tree, we saw 6. I told you, look, there go the string. Yeah. As we walking in the circle, Moses has got us walking in the circle.
Yeah. That is exactly how it happens. You don't ask Jonah. He said, I'm not going. I'm not going to Nineveh. I'm not going. You know why I'm not going? Because I'm going to go. I'm going to tell them what you said. They're going to repent, and then you're going to forgive them, and we're not going back through this cycle no more. I ain't going. To hell with them. Let them go head on and go there. Right. I'm not telling them anything. And he gets on a boat to go in the opposite direction. And the water was being tore up. See, you know what? Throw me out. And here comes Jonah over in the water, and a great fish swallows him up and takes him to Nineveh. But to the shore. God that they were worshiping in Nineveh was depicted by a man with a fish in his mouth. So when Jonah shows up,
spit out.
being spit out, and they see that, they was like, okay, his God. His God got to be the one. That's why. But you know what? People just get bits and pieces. They don't get details. They don't get history, and they just think, "Oh well, we don't. Well, a fish. Why did God use a fish? God always has a reason." When he brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, he destroyed all 10 of the gods they believed in with the plagues that he used against them before he brought the people out. No different. I'm going to use what is familiar to you to show you how powerful I am, so that you know that there is but one Lord, one God, one faith, one baptism, one God above all, through all, and in all. And I don't care how many gods you have, it's one God above that God. And he has a way of making himself known. So ain't no need of you being overwhelmed. Go on and surrender all that little stuff you got. Go on and put that under him. And yeah, let's keep the party.
So I got to get rid of the fish God? Is what you...
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to...
I love you. Just know that.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get rid of that little fish guy that I got, sitting on the table at the house. Okay. No, I understand. But no, like you said, that he's going to allow himself to be shown mighty, period. Yeah. So whether it be with Nebuchadnezzar, when he was going to burn the 3 Hebrew boys, or when he threw Daniel into the lion's den.
Yes.
And the jokers who went to go check on the 3 Hebrew boys burned up. And the one was like, I can't see, but it's a 4th in there with him. Yes. And the 4th one looked like the Son of Man.
Yeah, God will always evidence himself. He will always evidence himself. He will leave evidence. He will give evidence. He will prove himself. And so, yeah, you just can't out God. You can't do what it is. Even in this situation now with the war that is happening over there. I don't care who making all the decisions. I don't care who pulling the trigger. I don't care who is sitting there with their finger on the button. The moment God says enough, there is not another missile, not another bullet, not another thing will you be able to do once he says that's enough. So it doesn't matter who looks like they're in charge. You know what I mean? Listen, God gonna have the last word. He gonna have the last word.
But it's almost like we know he gonna have the last word. But it's almost like we still feel like we gotta say something. So he'd be like, I've said what I said. Okay. Don't say nothing else.
I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Stop it.
Okay. I will.
See, it'd be just like that. Like, bro, you just had to say something. You just had
I didn't say nothing. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing else.
But that's what we do with God. Like, God put that final word out there, and we'd be like, all right, y'all heard him.
Right.
We were listening. You didn't have to say nothing else. It's just like we stir up the pot. Yeah. And we've been doing this since the beginning. Mm-hmm. When Adam jumped in them bushes, God said, where you at?
Yeah.
Wait, Adam?
I was naked and I hid myself.
Well, who told you
you
was
were naked?
Hey, it's that woman you gave me. He ain't say nothing else. It wasn't no, you know what? This what happened. We fell for the okie doke. We ate from the tree. No, he was like, right here, yep. right here. It's her. It's her.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, and I agree with everything you said, but the thing is we have to deal with the consequences of these people's actions now. Mm-hmm. So how do we begin to, I know we come here every Saturday and we record this podcast and we try to give people the information that will draw them closer to Christ. But how do we give people the information to be able to press through these kind of obstacles? What are the things that we could tell people? Because again, I'm one who, when the opportunity presents itself, I'm always going to let people know who Christ is. But in these type of situations, you is sitting to the right and you just hear people, see, these Christians this, these Christians that, and you be sitting there like, I can't disagree with nothing you saying.
Right.
I literally, I can't stand, I'm one and I can't stand them either.
Right.
It's almost like that, like,
yeah,
the niggas got to go. Right. I'm a nigga, but the niggas got to go. That's how you be feeling. You be like, hey, listen. And you don't want to then lump because, be like, well, it's just the white Christians. No, there's some black ones too that be on that yoky dope. you know, but how do we press through that obstacle that has presented itself when we're trying to be good stewards and disciple people, but we have to deal with the repercussions of the squeaky wheel that's getting the oil being the loudest voices out there?
You know, B, one of the things I always say when people present the Christian argument to me is, are you sure it's a Christian? Like when you're talking to me and you're presenting all these things, well, here's the things that the Christians are doing, and you have this whole list of unchristlike things, then my question to you is, well, is that a Christian? Just because someone says that they are a Christian does not make them Christian. So for everybody, I would say, first of all, read the Christian handbook. Like, read the Bible. That's the real Christian handbook. And if you keep noticing actions and activities that don't line up with this book, don't let people lie to you and tell you that they're Christian. Like, you don't have to believe a lie. You don't have to believe. You ain't got to accept it just because somebody. Let me tell you nothing since I'm here. You don't have to be a pushover just because you are a Christian and accept everything that somebody says to you and make it a fact, because the truth from a wicked source is just as dangerous as a lie. So you learn the word for yourself. Learn it for yourself, and then you will know real Christians when you meet them. It's very specific. By this will people know that you are my disciples, by the love that you have for one another. If I, because I feel like it, just start shooting your children, how much love am I showing you? How much? If I shoot and I'm firing and I have zero compassion, if I'm watching it and I have zero compassion for a father holding his lifeless child in his arms, how much of a Christian am I? How much? So you're not going to just lie to me and do whatever you want to do, say whatever you want to say, live however you want to live, and then present an I am Christian memorandum to me, and then I just accept it and start following you. How long are you going to be dumb? How long? You don't have the luxury to be dumb anymore. You don't have it. You don't have the luxury to be ignorant. And if you're offended by me saying dumb, then don't be dumb. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You know, we just Christians get on my nerves sometimes. No. Just take any old thing, and you just want to make everything God. You want to make everybody God. You want to make everybody saved. You're not just finna be out here doing all kind of foolishness and then say you saved, and then I'm just supposed to treat you like you saved. Cuss in front of me if you want to and say you saved. I'm gonna call you out on it real fast. What are we talking about? I don't think this.
You okay? Let me take your temperature.
I got mad.
Let me check your temperature.
It's hot.
Oh, okay. You sure you done? Because the mic about to catch on fire.
Let me come back.
No, well, what's the quote? It's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. It's better to be thought a Christian than open your mouth and be like, he ain't a Christian.
Right.
Because a lot of y'all be like, and the thing is this, and you know how I feel. Y'all could put Jesus, sprinkle a little Jesus on top of it to fool these other folks.
Yeah.
But I be like, all right, well, you said, you know how many places advertise? Well, we're a Christian company. What do that mean? I'm a Christian company.
Kind of like your sorority is a Christian organization. Like that. It ain't.
But yeah, so don't hit me with the okie doke and then expect me to, you know. Like, no, that's not happening. But so your solution is to examine it, like the word says.
Yes, examine it. Stop just taking what people say to you and believing that they are Christian. Examine it. But hey, if you're really not Christian, then your answer key is already wrong. So you won't be able to tell.
I saw a clip. I have to find it and show you and Tracy, but they were talking about how these evangelicals operate, and the guy was like, man, because they were talking about, they have this thing that's, you know how betting is blown up, right? So they have this thing now where you can do like future betting. So like they had bets of if America goes to war with Iran by a certain date, you can bet on that and things like that. Now, this how crazy it's getting. But the guy was like, so on this future betting market, there's about the return of Jesus. And this guy was like, I want to get in on this Jesus thing because there's a lot of money in it. Like talking about the future bet, like if I bet against it and it don't come by a certain date, he was like, I got to find out more about this Jesus thing because there's a lot of money in it. And the guy who was the co-host with him said, yeah, that's what a lot of evangelical preachers say. I got to find out more about this Jesus thing because it's a lot. But that's how they look at it, Shonda. A lot of them aren't Christian in the way of living a Christ life or believing Christ did the things that he said he did. They are Christian because of the lifestyle that comes with being a Christian.
Right.
And that's why when folks
they are Christian because of the lifestyle they see on TV.
Yeah.
That is not just the baseline lifestyle of a believer.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying they want the glamour and the glitz and the lights and the big spectacles. They don't want the struggle and the crying and the weeping and what I done been through and crawling over glass and picking up your bed and walking with it, or having to wipe your face with mud and spit and to be able to see. They don't want that part.
No, hey, and you can get it easy for the low price of your soul, just like they did.
Well, I think they want to be like the rich man that walked up to Jesus. I follow the commandments. So what else do I need to do? Give this all up? No, you know what? I'll just fool the people. I ain't got to give nothing up. They gonna believe me when I say what I say anyway. And none of us are examining. Jesus, I know. Paul, I know. Shonda, I know. Tracy, I know. But nigga, who are you?
Right. Who are you? Who are you?
And we not asking that question.
No, we really don't. And some of us will sit and we know that what we are hearing is not true. We can know that the lifestyle of the person who is up is not up to par. And let me tell you, this ain't about judgment. This is just the facts. But I'm well within my parameter to judge a situation as long as I don't judge it before time. If I don't judge it according to appearance, but judge righteously, yeah. So, and they sit there and they see it and they know it and they just keep sitting there. And they just keep going week after week and giving their money, waiting for a return. What investment do you expect to get sowing your money into evil ground? It's like putting your money into a bag with a hole in it. There's nothing coming back. They got it. You gave it to them already. How long are we going to do that, though? B, how long are we going to do that? You don't have time like you used to. If you know that you're sitting somewhere and you're not being fed, you know you want more and you can't get it, you know that there is something more and it's just not appearing for you where you are. Pack up all your grip. Get everything. Get your kid. Yep. And take a fan with you if you want to and get out of there and go get yourself somewhere where the real truth is being taught so that when they slide all the way down into hell, you don't go vicariously.
Well, what I tell you last week, they fans. They fans.
I ain't a fan like that.
Shonda, the only loyalty that you should have is to the team that been stinking for 50 years like the Lions have, and Shonda's still been rooting for them, supporting them, and loving them. And she ain't got no return on her investment. But you ain't supposed to do that with these crazy folks out here at all. Because the Lions have been lying to all of us, Shonda.
Hey.
And we still love them. This is an abusive relationship.
They got rid of David Montgomery, and I was upset about that. But we're going to see what y'all do. We're going to see what you do.
It was definitely social media, definitely was in a mourning period.
Oh, yeah, and still are.
Yeah.
But I ain't about to sit in no church no more and do that.
But that's what we do. We become fans of the pastor, and we got a few people that we cool with. It's almost like that's who I sit at the bar with, and we watch the game together, and we talk about everything. Man, can you believe this happening? Can you believe that happened? That's why I've said before, they say, well, y'all go to these sporting events and y'all cheer and all of that. Y'all need to do that in church. Well, I also boo. You want me to boo if you giving a bad sermon? Do you want me to boo if you saying something crazy? Do you want me to throw a tomato? Do you want me to stand up and do what I do at my house when my team is sneaking up the joint? When I'm sitting there like, oh, bruh, get him out of here. Where's the backup? Shonda, how many times have you watched the game and said Jared Goff ain't got it today? Is there anybody else who we got?
I done stood up like, oh my goodness gracious! You don't want me to do that.
You don't want me to be in church in the middle of the sermon.
You're not exegeting right.
You ain't got it today. Where's your backup?
Flag.
Right.
Flag.
All these penalties out here, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing.
Did you hear that? You don't want me to do that.
You don't want me to do that. So don't say you want church to be like a sporting event, because if you know how real sports,
my Doritos at you.
Like walk out. They done. They ain't got it today. This game over, and just walk out. Just walk out and be like, did half the church just leave?
The ticket for the game is cheaper.
Hey, you gotta put that out there. But no, it's true. It's true. So before we excuse me, wrap this up, what would you tell people that are what would you say to folks who are lukewarm, straddling the fence, who may have deconstructed their faith in? They were on their way back in, but these are the kind of events that prevent them from really getting all the way back in because of church hurt. And they say, see, this is how church folks act. Now we're cheerleading a war, and we're happy that people are going to die when they don't have to die. Now, if God allows things to happen, and they happen naturally, they happen naturally. But to just intentionally go and blow up a school, or to intentionally starve children, or to starve mothers, or to do whatever we're doing. I mean, right now they talking about like starving Cuba to death. Like, I'm not okay with any of that.
Yeah.
But if it's a person, because we know people who they really want to get back into that thing, Shonda, but it's like, I don't want to be with those folks. What would you say to them first?
You know what? You want to know honestly what I would say? I would say to everybody, what you need is resolve, one way or the other. The fence belongs to the devil. Okay, the fence is his. Jesus was very, very clear. If you're lukewarm, if you're in the middle, if you're straddling the fence, I will spit you out of my mouth. So the fence already belongs to the devil. So ain't no need. But you know what it's like to sit on the fence? Imagine in your mind, close your eyes, and imagine how uncomfortable that is, sitting on those wire spikes on the middle of that fence. Get on off of there and just pick a side. It doesn't even matter. Ain't but two sides. Either you on the Lord's side or you on the devil's side. It's not but two sides. People want you to feel like there's a gray area. There is not a gray area. I would rather you be mad at me because I told you the truth than for me to say nothing and allow you to think there's a gray area where you can walk in the middle and still make it in right before you die. I'm not going to do you like that. I would say pick a side, make some resolve, pick a side, and deal with whatever you get on that side. If you hate the Christians so much, then get on over there on the other side and then deal with whatever it is that you find over there. But if you hate the devil so much, get on over on the Lord's side and deal with whatever it is you find over there. But what you cannot do is mix the two. And that is part of the problem. You want to be a little bit of Christian with a lot of the world, or you want to have a lot of Christianity with a little bit of the world, and you're finding that that is uncomfortable and that you can't successfully do anything that way. So I would say pick a side and make resolve that you're going to deal with the consequences of whatever it is. Because at the end, you're going to be told what your decision was. And whatever the consequences are that go along with your decision, there will be nothing that you will be able to do then to change your side. So do it now. That's what I would say.
Well, I think you addressed everybody on both sides of the fence. So I don't think it's nothing else to be added or said. So you know what time it is now, right? The block is hot. or unpopular opinions? You got something today, Rabbi?
You know I got an unpopular opinion because those
Well,
just seem to be hot.
I just think that you wanted to change the segment because you're like, my block don't be hot. But I definitely got some unpopular opinions that I got to get off my chest. I think you was just, you know what? I'm going to slip that in there with B and just see what he's saying, and we can add that because
like,
my block don't be hot like his block be hot.
Yeah, now his block be scorching.
But me, I just got a bunch of unpopular opinions that I got to get these boys off a hot take.
See, the unpopular opinion, that's me. Block is hot, that's him. Everybody just do what they do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I have an unpopular opinion, and I'm gonna make this real quick. My unpopular opinion is this: everybody just not gonna get it. Everybody just not gonna get it, and everybody think they get it. Everybody think they understand it, but you don't. You don't, and it's okay. Just because you go to church does not mean you're going to God. That's my unpopular opinion right there. That's it.
No,
just because you go to church don't mean you're going to God.
I done been saying that for a long time, so that I don't even think that's unpopular. I think that's known.
It's unpopular. There are people who go to church and they go on 2-3 days out the week, and they go on some of them twice on Sunday, and they think they having wonderful encounters with God. And I'm just telling you, going to church does not equate going to God. Some of you have been going to church for 20 years and you ain't been to God yet.
Well, one, you going to a place of worship. That's the problem, because you think you're going to church when you're supposed to realize you are the church. Yeah. And they don't realize that you are the walking tabernacle. So everywhere you go, the church is with you because you are the church.
You're supposed to be a walking tabernacle, but if the smoke coming off the altar is from your cigarettes and your weed, you are not. Okay, just because there's smoke coming out of there don't mean that it's the incense that's on the altar. That's not. Some of y'all walking tabernacles and you ain't never been sacrificed on your own altar. You've never, ever laid yourself on the altar. All you have ever burnt are your enemies.
So we should be worrying about the sheriffing putting the coal to burn our lips and not the weed when it got down to a little bit and they trying to hit it and get the single weed lips.
You know what I'm
talking about?
Yes, I know.
The purple and burnt mark. Yep. All right, so on to me. Now, so this clip is old, and but it was a white KKK member, but he's a pastor, and he's talking about just Christianity, and this goes back to what you just said about people professing Christ, but how you gonna be a whole KKK member and you claim to be Christian? And the thing is that we give these people platforms, we give these people validity to be able to just sprout out foolishness and nonsense to make you show anything that you can show me in the world. Like even when I would see the signs of people in the 50s and the 60s who were saying that they were against interracial marriage and all this, and they would give certain scriptures and all this other stuff. And it's like, sure, Jan, like y'all really think y'all on the right side of history, and y'all not.
And you're not.
Yeah, like y'all literally think you're on the right side of history. You are not on the right side of history at all. Your ancestors wasn't on the right side of history, and if you learn from them, you still on the wrong side of history. So you can hate me all you want. You can hate me and all my beautiful, full-blooded black melanin, and I know I'm light-skinned, and I know the sun ain't out right now, and I'm a little lighter than I'd like to be. But when this Hawaiian tan hit me in a few weeks, and I'm looking good and I got the glow, but what I'm saying is, y'all keep this foolishness off the airwaves. These people do not need to be getting platformed no more. It's frustrating to me that we just let these people and then they be claiming to be Christian and we don't challenge them. Like
that part.
Like, I just want them to ask, so you say you Christian, and I'm not a Christian, but Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, body, soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. If you say you hate black people and you can't worship together, is that loving your neighbor?
No.
And just see what they say. Like, make that circle square. And if you can make that circle, but they never get asked that. They just
I'm
get
gonna
asked
love
about
you
their beliefs.
like I love myself. I tell myself the truth, and I will be no different with you.
Period. So that's this week's block is how I just, you know how I feel when I see racist stuff.
You were really, really calm though. Like
No, I'm trying to.
you have grown.
Yeah, well, maybe if I see something else, it'll get me going. I'll just say that. So, you ready to close this thing out, Rabbi?
I think you should just do it.
No. You got something. So don't be trying to just say I should just close it out.
I really don't.
You don't have nothing today?
I think you should close.
Now I feel pressure because you got Tracy in here.
What?
No, I'm messing around. I'm messing around. All right, then I will close this thing out. Appreciate you. We had a good show today.
We always have good conversation. Like the people just get to sit in on our conversation.
Yeah, that's true. It's like we could do this on the phone call, but they get to sit in on the phone call. So thank you. Thank you for visiting us again, Sister Tracy. Appreciate you. That prayer got us activated. So she is the designated prayer when she comes in. She is she know that. So it's like we ain't even got to say, just look at her like, and she know it's time. So I'll close by saying this. You know, sometimes in life we try to do what we think is right. We help people when maybe we shouldn't help them, and we don't help people when we should help them. And we find ourselves in conundrums and thinking that I am the one who can make this situation better. And unfortunately, sometimes when you get to a certain status in life, you think that people come to you because of who you are and not what you can provide. We have gotten to the point in society where the people in power think that we need them, and we don't need them. They have decided to send our sons and daughters to fight in wars that they wouldn't send their own children to fight in. They have sacrificed the lives of countless people in other countries for the almighty dollar. Jesus once said, you can't have two masters. You can't serve God and mammon, money. And a lot of this comes down to rich people just wanting to be richer. But there is no richness unless it's in Christ Jesus. There is no richness unless it's in God. So I can't stop this war. Only God can. But what you can stop is the road to hell that you're heading to. Find the richness in Christ Jesus. Find the salvation in him. Let him bring you up. So even when you see these war-torn countries, pray for the people that are pulling the triggers and the people that are feeling the breath of the bombs hitting the land. But most of all, pray for yourself, that you are with Christ in all ways, that you know him, that you have a relationship with him, and that he's leading you on the path that you need to be led on. Because any other path is a path to destruction. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for listening to another episode of Road to Damascus, where it's not about the road, it's about the journey. Until next time, thank you for listening. God bless, and we're out. Oh, real quick, WCHB, R2D. Make sure you tune in first and third Saturday. We there with Jay Sanford from 2 to 3. Download the app on your phone and listen to us every first and third Saturday of the month. Until then, God bless.